Severe weather made its way through mid-Missouri. Good evening, everyone. I'm Jim Reek.
And I'm Jalen Henderson. Most of mid-Missouri already dealt with those thunderstorms, and now KOMU8's Tim Schmidt is here to tell us what's next.
Yeah, well, we're still watching a couple of light showers coming up here in just a couple of minutes.
Well, severe weather season is upon us, and before the storm hits, it's important to have a safety plan in place. KOMU8 talked with tenants living in downtown Columbia high-rises and learned most were unprepared. Despite misconceptions, these newer buildings can be safe and sturdy during severe weather. The owner of the lofts told KOMU his apartments and many others were built according to IBC code and Type 2 safety standards. If there's a tornado and you live in a high-rise, avoid elevators, stay away from windows, and find shelter in the lowest part of the building. However, we heard a concern.
We weren't really given any sort of tornado type of safety precautions or anything like that. I definitely think that having those safety precautions projected to all the residents is very important.
Columbia does not have a single FEMA-approved shelter. However, a new addition at Grant Elementary School will feature a safe room built to withstand 250-mile-an-hour winds. New this evening, to cap off an incredibly busy day at the White House, the U.S. along with France, the United Kingdom, opened a missile attack against Syria.
And President Trump made the announcement just over an hour ago in a press conference at the White House. Trump says the U.S. is prepared to continue its attack until the Syrian government stops using prohibited chemical weapons.
The president was also critical of Syrian allies Iran and Russia.
To Iran and to Russia, I ask, what kind of a nation wants to be associated with the mass murder of innocent men, women, and children? The nations of the world can be judged by the friends they keep. No nation can succeed in the long run by promoting rogue states, brutal tyrants, and murderous dictators.
No specifics of the attack have been provided yet. We'll have updates on it as we receive them. At this hour, the Syrian-Russian embassy says the actions will not be without consequences. Also at the White House today, a war of words between President Trump and former FBI Director James Comey.
Comey is releasing a book next week, which is very critical of the president. Today, Trump fired back, saying it was a great honor to fire Comey. Comey says he wrote about informing the president-elect of an allegation of interaction with prostitutes in Russia in 2013. Comey says Trump got defensive, asking if he looks like the type of guy who needs prostitutes. Trump said today Comey is a liar, a leak, and, quote, an untruthful slimeball. Also today, President Trump issued a full pardon to a former top aide of Vice President Dick Cheney. Scooter Libby was convicted of lying to investigators and obstruction of justice following the 2003 identity leak of CIA operative Valerie Plame. The president said in a statement, quote, "For years I have heard that he has been treated unfairly. Hopefully this full pardon will help rectify a very sad portion of his life."
We're learning about the findings of the FBI raid into President Trump's lawyer's home and office. CNN reports Michael Cohen paid $1.6 million to a Playboy model who says she became pregnant by a leading GOP fundraiser. CNN sources say the model accuses Elliot Brody of being the father. Brody resigned from his position with the Republican Party. In a statement, Brody confirmed their relationship and apologized to his wife and family. We also have details on former Deputy FBI Director Andrew McCabe. The Department of Justice Inspector General found McCabe misled investigators about whether he was a source for 2 news articles pertaining to the FBI in 2016. The inspector says McCabe discussed the Clinton Foundation investigation with the Wall Street Journal reporter. While he was authorized to discuss it, the report says he did so to, quote, advance his personal interest, which violated the FBI's and the DOJ's media policy.
Outgoing House Speaker Paul Ryan says he has a successor in mind. He says Majority Leader Kevin McCarthy should replace him. McCarthy was a nominee for the job in 2015 but couldn't secure enough votes. Ryan's endorsement comes after he stunned Washington this week by announcing he would not seek another term in Congress this fall. Ryan says he's confident McCarthy is the right person for the job because a lot has changed since the first opportunity.
I think Kevin's the right guy to step up. One of the reasons, let me say it this way, one of the reasons why I was comfortable making this decision is because we have a very capable leadership team, and
The Trump administration says McCarthy has a good relationship, but Trump hasn't decided whether he will endorse McCarthy. Today, Governor Greitens appointed 2 people to the committee currently investigating him.
Yes, he named Democrat Wayne Hankey and Republican Bill Burke to the Missouri Ethics Committee. The Ethics Committee is currently looking at a complaint against Greitens, saying his campaign used a donor list from the charity he founded. Doing so is against Missouri campaign laws. This investigation is separate from the one of Greitens' affair.
These appointments come 2 days after the damaging House committee report on Greitens involving invasion of privacy and blackmail. Today, the White House responded to Missouri's situation.
I don't have an official response at this time, but certainly something that is very concerning and something that we're taking very seriously, and I'll keep you updated as we have something.
As for the ethics nominees, the state Senate will decide whether to confirm them on April 25th. United Airlines is expecting $600,000 from the city of Columbia as well as its partners who brought the Denver flight to Columbia. The airline began offering this service to Denver a year ago. It's part of a revenue guarantee agreement. The guarantee makes up for lost profits if passenger counts are low.
So, we have to encourage people in mid-Missouri to utilize Columbia Regional Airport, because the more that it's utilized, the more that airlines take notice of this.
A spokesman for United says since the market is new, it plans to continue and let it build.
A performance audit would cost the city of Columbia up to $750,000. KOMU 8's Erica Munsinger is live in Columbia to tell us what another option might be.
I'm live at City Hall, where City Council members will discuss this audit on Monday. The audit could take 2 to 3 years to complete. City Council member Michael Trapp says having the state auditor's office do it could be counterproductive. He thinks another option could serve the same purpose while being less expensive.
We've invested in this self-evaluation called the Missouri Quality Awards, where outside evaluators have come and given us guidance through a self-monitoring practice.
Columbia Mayor Brian Treese proposed the audit in March. KOMU 8 News reached out to him and the other council members, and we got no response. Reporting live in Columbia, Erica Munsinger, KOMU 8 News.
Several new phone scams are hitting the Jefferson City and Holt Summit area. In one, scammers say you've won money. KOMU 8's Sydney Olson is here in the studio to tell us what you need to be on the lookout for.
Scammers are calling mid-Missourians posing as tech support and saying they've won a vacation or money. News of the scam spread after someone posted about their experience on a community Facebook post. Almost 20 people commented. If you receive a scam phone call, you should report it to the Attorney General's website. In the studio, Sydney Olson, KOMU 8 News.
How Fulton plans to get rid of unwanted drugs.
Plus, mid-Missouri kids compete for a spot on the national stage.
A Fulton Collection Center is accepting drugs and lots of other items for disposal. National Drug Take-Back Day is in October, but starting tomorrow, residents can get rid of any expired or unwanted pharmaceutical drugs at the Tennyson Road Fire Station. Individuals can anonymously schedule a time for drop-off anytime before the event begins at 9 a.m.
It's important to let us know that you do have those, because then we'll have a police officer here to help handle those, and they will properly dispose of those items.
The fire department will not be able to accept needles or liquids. The service is free with no questions asked.
It's now up to Holt Summit businesses to decide whether it's smoking or non-smoking. A new ordinance restricts where smokers can light up or at or around a business or a park. Smokers will have to stay at least 15 feet from the entrance of a public building or a playground. The city hopes this will make non-smokers more comfortable in public. There's already been discussion whether the ordinance was the right decision. The city rejected a stricter option.
They wanted a smoking ordinance that would make the city non-smoking. The board, I was not, and nor was the board, ready to go down that path of total government control.
Hess hopes the ordinance will be a good middle ground for those on both sides of the issue. Severe weather made its way through mid-Missouri. Tim has your forecast coming up. In a few weeks, a student from Wardsville will represent mid-Missouri in a national competition. KOMU 8's David Estrada tells us how a passion for learning languages became a goal for success.
What else do you think it could be?
KOMU 8 News, Wardsville.
Congratulations to her. She was one of 56 students from 8 different counties who competed at the Regional Scripps Spelling Bee.
CPS has announced what it plans to do with the part of the $30 million bond voters approved earlier this month. The Long Range Facilities Planning Committee has decided to build an extension at Rockbridge Elementary, where the student population has outgrown the space. But the bond won't be issued until June of 2019. The school's principal says the extension is needed.
You know, providing some extra space for a building that is feeling some overcrowding. So as you add more students, for example, little things like restroom space, just having more restroom space, just having more learning space for students.
The Long Range Facilities Planning Committee says it's always looking for community input for the next project. Its next meeting is scheduled for May 10th. Baseball, baseball, and more baseball. 4 Missouri teams in action tonight. That's next in sports.
Man, thank you very much. Golf is not supposed to be a dangerous sport. Coming up, one man's perilous trip down the fairway.
Now here's a look at what we're following for KOMU 8 News today. Cleanup in Columbia. The 22nd annual citywide cleaning day is tomorrow morning.
Volunteers will be at 177 different locations. We'll have a live report tomorrow morning. Tim.
And your forecast for the rest of the night is a nice quiet one. Finally, we're done with the thunderstorms. Maybe a spot sprinkle tomorrow morning, 58 in the morning, 63 in the afternoon. I believe Mizzou has their spring football game over at Furrow Field tomorrow afternoon. A little breezy, but temperature near 63. Cold on Sunday, though. Could even have some snow flurries back into the forecast on Sunday. I wish it didn't say that, but it's a possibility.
Just another day on the golf course for Luke Donald, but whoa, wait a minute. Take a little detour there. You know, you don't have any alligators in Missouri, you know, lakes and ponds at the golf course, but in South Carolina, a real possibility. And Mr. Gator was just, there he is, sunning himself, basking in the sun.
He found himself a good seat for that match.
Yeah, he didn't have to pay a ticket, did he?
No, he didn't.
That is our time for now. Thanks for joining us.
On air, online, on Facebook, on Twitter, on the news app.